Hello, my name is Jeff Jacob. I am in Tucson, Arizona, where c-path was started. And through the vision and leadership of Dr. Ray Woosley and Dr. Woodcock from the FDA and other partners, I was privileged to be the first executive director of the PSTC and proud to be here for its 15-year celebration. Beginning of c-path, it was the first initiative. I think that we really got traction, and I have to say it was all coming from Dr. Woodcock and others at the agency to create a pre-competitive platform to share data and accelerate science amongst academia, industry, regulators, really to be able to accelerate the idea of regulatory science to the benefit of everybody, to create tools to modernize the regulatory process and stay up on the current science that has been advancing in individual companies, but maybe not so much benefiting from the collection of all the data. And I think the leadership saw that, and that was very exciting. It was exciting for me and a privilege to be the initial leader of the initiative along with Ray Woosley. And it was great to have the support of people like Dr. Woodcock and Larry Lesko, who ran the clinical farm group there. And I give him and his team credit for really getting this thing going. And not just another initiative, but actually do something, have metrics that end up in some formal guidance from the agency that the industry can use, with the idea of being safer and smarter and faster, all of those great things. So the initial Predictive Safety Tox Consortium pulled together, I believe, 8 companies initially. And I recall distinctly 2 that really were pivotal in pushing forward, although they all pushed it forward. But Novartis and Jackie Von der Scher and Merck and Frank Sester really helped get their brothers and sisters pushed along and worked in close partnership with c-path, who was basically a little coordinator. But the FDA group, Dr. Lesko's group, Felix Frew and Federico Goodsade, really those guys get all the credit because they brought a lot of ideas and science and collaboration to the industry. And again, Dr. Woodcock, personally, I give her credit for making it happen, because there were times where we had challenges. And she said, you guys have to find a way to do this. And when the leader of the agency like that tells the companies, then they listen more. And it's still, I think, incredibly relevant today. What we started then in the kidney space, in the liver space, in the skeletal space, muscular space, I think carcinogenicity were some of the initial initiatives. We now find many of them, and the creation of the qualification process, the Q word. At the time, we were using the V word, which was a no-no. And so, again, give the agency and the industry and c-path credit for iterating and coming up with this qualification process that adds credibility, maybe not necessarily complete validation, but it adds credibility for tools that the industry can use to help make smarter choices, more efficient choices, safer choices. And for me, I mean, I look at practical aspects even beyond drug development that excite me. For instance, I have a sister with 1 kidney right now, and you may or may not know the very first qualification was a renal biomarker panel, and that those biomarkers are intended to show an early warning signal for drug-induced kidney injury, instead of BUN, creatinine, when it's kind of too late. And people like my sister, who are walking around with 1 kidney and they have to take, pharmaceuticals, you worry because you don't know until it's too late. And so I have great hope in things like the kidney biomarkers, that they can get out there and be used more in practice by docs guiding practice, how they're going to dose patients, or if they're going to dose patients. So that's a long-term dream that's made possible by all of this great work over the last 15 years by c-path and the PSTC. It's more relevant today even than then because of this rapid advancement of technology and tools. life sciences tools. It's pretty wild, but you think about gene therapy, you think about vaccines and new diagnostics. All this is creating an onslaught of new science. And so I think groups like PSTC are needed even more to help bring the science down to a place where it can be utilized in a practical regulatory context, which means ultimately products can get out there to be utilized in the world, to make it better. So it's been a privilege. Again, thank you for asking me to make these comments. It's a fun ride. I'm still on c-path board of directors and watching proudly as this incredible team continues the good work that they're doing.